Welcome everyone to the first game of the MSL Code B SemiFinals. We have in the bottom left-hand corner of Derelict Watcher the red Zerg RatPoison. His opponent up here in the top right-hand corner is the pink Protoss BrofessorX. Speaking of this is once again the cool tile set, and check out these geysers. So cool. If any of you have played Skyrim, they look like anything Dwemer to me. So a very, very early scout from BrofessorX, or not from BrofessorX, RatPoison, trying to get a good idea where his opponent is, because this is a 4-player map, although I don't know if this is forced cross-position spawns. Either way, scouting the correct location first, it's actually somewhat rare, 25% of the time. Actually, 33% of the time. Who am I kidding? You already start one of the bases. Either way, so for those of you who haven't watched maybe some of the quarterfinal matches, RatPoison has become very... he's done pretty well for himself so far. Clearly, he's in the semifinals. But he's usually done that by doing some ridiculous early aggression. We do have the early scout getting here, getting to look at absolutely everything, going with the Forge First Fast Expand from BrofessorX. We do have, that was a 12 pool, not anything crazy. I think actually, in this case, so here's a little bit of a history lesson for all of you perhaps that don't watch Starcraft obsessively like I do. For a little bit of time, there was this claimed imbalance in the game where Zerg players such as Idra, who started a streaming show called Imba, it was about how imbalanced Protoss was, which is funny if any of you know anything about Idra. He is a raging player. He's quite good, but when he loses, or sometimes even when he doesn't lose, he quits. He's famous for rage quitting. Rage quitting, by the way, means not typing out GG and then leaving the game. You just leave. That's called a rage quit. Rage quit when he was playing against Huck, and I think the 2011 MLG, one of those games, and he saw 2 hallucinated Void Rays and immediately left the game. So anyway, so there's this big issue in the metagame where Zergs really didn't feel like they had an answer to the Colossus, because you could get Corruptors, but you couldn't get enough, and then the armies, like Protoss armies, Death Balls, towards the end of the game, get very, very powerful. And so it's quite difficult to deal with them because they trade so cost efficiently. So what ended up happening, instead of Blizzard patching the game and making Colossi weaker or giving Corruptors a plus 10 damage to Colossi somehow, instead what ended up happening is the Zerg players discovered that all they had to do is just take another base. Here we go. This is it. So the reason you always need to stay 2 bases or 1 base up on your opponent as a Zerg player is that you need the additional economy, because your units are not as cost effective, so you need more of them. And also with Larva, you need to be able to have enough to actually do very much. So in response to the Forge First Fast Expand, which is how Protosses were becoming very successful for a little while, the Zergs adapted and came up with this 3-base strategy. In fact, what you'll actually see is you'll see 3 hatch before pool sometimes, because if you think about it, there is nothing that this Protoss player can do against you right now. They cannot leave their base at all. There's no stalkers. The stalker, it's going to be 6 minutes and 30 seconds before there can even be a stalker, just about. I think it's 40 seconds, 42 seconds, almost exactly 6.5 minutes into the game before a stalker comes out. And they don't have enough economy to do a whole bunch of zealots at you. So in the meantime, you build up your economy obsessively, foregoing all units, which RatPoison is doing quite well at. Queens don't count as units. They're kind of like supply depots. You just need to have some of them, at least. They do count as units once you start getting lots of them, and use them in a very interesting composition, like Ultra Infestor Queen. I was just watching a game that was used, and it was super awesome. Here come 3 more gates now that he is finally able to afford them. Because remember, this investment took quite a bit, and this is a relatively wide ramp, and he actually could have blocked this off with less buildings. He's actually a little bit farther away. You could have built this up farther, this up farther. Either way, he is pretty much successfully walled off, although there is a gap here that Zerglings could exploit. We do see a Roach Warren going down and an eBay going down. This eBay. So my brain does this cool thing where I take any building that falls into the right category and it will randomly assign what I was meaning to one of those words. So this means upgrades, which is also what eBays do. So a little bit of a Freudian slip. Not too bad though. 3 queens up, so he's going to be able to get all those larva injects up. Also notice that he does have a worker lead, although with the chrono boost, BrofessorX is actually very, very close, although he did supply block himself right when he was trying to build all of his units. Decent coverage of the map with the overlords, so good job there from RatPoison. They totally can see that overlord, they're just not worried about it, so interesting there. Watching all the attack paths, making sure that BrofessorX does not surprise him in the least. Look, now equalized. What's in production? 10 lings. So imagine how hard this would have been to stay in the same economy as your opponent if you'd not taken that third base. Just really wanting to point that out. Excellent job. Way to play the stable metagame for me, guys. Love to see that. Immortal coming out right after an Observer. And here comes this. This is the first real big departure. So Twilight Council. So what this means, probably going to see Blink. I guess that would be my guess. This is a large map, and having some speedy units to get around and be annoying with would be quite useful. There's no speed. Oh, come on, computer. There we go. Sorry also, previously, if you watched some of my other games, they had some serious lag. It was a problem with the casting software. My previous games had not had it. I did have to change some settings. I overclocked my computer, which is something I've always enjoyed doing. Oh, sidebar. My name is ocnLogan. I just say my name is Logan. The reason I say that is because on the overclocking website, overclock.net, of which I've been a member since 2005, my username is Logan. I was asked to be a moderator there. I wrote like 20 or 30 pages of documentation for the site on how-to guides and stuff like that. So that's something that I've always really enjoyed, and since then, Logan is of course taken in every single thing that you can imagine, because it's a first name, and whoever's first into the system gets to claim it. So ocnLogan is the abbreviation for overclock.net, and I still get to, I get that one everywhere, because that means nothing to everyone else other than me. So, a little sidebar. BrofessorX has been investing a lot into some of these higher tech units, but the army size is actually still really small. The infrastructure is not yet really kicked in, and so this is a little bit scary. There's also no force fields here. I'd call that a serious oversight. This is also not even close to being a full wall. So this could be a little bit scary. With the Roach count and the Zealot and Immortal count, I actually say that this probably won't go very well for BrofessorX. Especially not engaging at different times. He does want to engage out in the open, whereas his opponent wants to stay inside. He could use this time to actually really, really drone up. He's now actually fallen behind in the worker count, and should use this ability that he has to be out on the map with these faster units to take a little bit of control. Protoss weapons level 2 is already started, although, okay, we do have an engagement here, trying to shove their way in. These roaches are taking heavy fire from these immortals, although the zealots here are not able to do almost anything. So the cyber core does go down. That will hamper his opponent a little bit, and he's going to just kite these zealots away. He's going to be able to take out a few more, the Zerglings being a little bit confused. Interesting engagement. I think overall, BrofessorX got the upper hand there, although he did lose his cyber core, so he won't have to deal with stalkers as much in the short term. In fact, I wonder if he'll even rebuild it. That is my actual wonderment. Here is Charge. I think this might be in response to the fact that he can't build stalkers. I think that Zergling got cut right in half, I think. If that's true, that's an excellent death animation. Neither of them can see each other. This is a little bit dangerous. Did he see a move out? So, a Baneling Nest on the way. The army values are the same. Can this army get surrounded? There are no force fields here to keep the units away. Oh, the Immortal's getting a lot of really big hits on these roaches. He should be kiting back, allowing it to get a better concave. going to take lots of damage from those immortals, actually. Lots and lots of roaches falling. Some stalkers not even participating in the fight. It looks like the roaches here will be able to help clean up this fight. Oh, no, he's retreating! I think he was actually going to take that fight. Although, with this, it would have been really, really close. BrofessorX not even paying attention. We do have a few units down here being a little bit annoying. This should be able to be take care of it, though. One roach and a queen should be able to pretty much take care of that. There's a stalker here that's going to clear the air, or it could have cleared the air. There we go. Those are some very wounded roaches. They are not happy as a... wow. So BrofessorX is still pretty vulnerable up here. This is a really wide ramp. There's nothing preventing any sort of run by, and there's absolutely nothing here in the base. So while it looks like BrofessorX, once again with the army and the unit, actually the biggest thing here is the worker count. Oh, he's caught back up. Excellent. I've been remiss in my watching of the production tab. BrofessorX is ahead in upgrades, and he is going up another base. This is a very easy to take third base. However, this is a really wide area to control. So, once again, the fast units that the Zerg has could cause him a little bit of problems. But roaches are really not the greatest against zealots if they cannot kite. And BrofessorX has not had to worry about kiting too much because RatPoison simply hasn't done that very much. It's going to be a very big roach counterattack. All these roaches, ooh, that was a big thing of roaches. They could have gone in and taken that, I think. Wow. This is going to be quite painful here in just a moment. So these zealots streaming in, how many is that? That is 14 zealots coming into an undefended third base, or fourth base, actually. So watching the reaction time of RatPoison, is he going to grab all these drones? Oh, they're just going to fall. All the drones are just going to die. This is actually going to put RatPoison in a very bad position. He's now lower on workers. He is now going to lose this extra base. The army is coming back, and to put things worse, he's actually already lost another overlord, and so now he's supply blocked. These roaches might be able to clean up a good number of these zealots. Charge is done, so I don't know why he's not engaging. He's going to continue running. There's no reinforcements. There's no army moving to go save them. The roaches will just continue to pick them off a little bit at a time, although I don't think he's actually going to get very many. So good choice there to move his way back. There's a lot of these overlords that I feel like could be a little bit more throughout the map. However, it's not a big deal. What I would really love to see right now, I think, is some Nidus play. His opponent is kind of locked down in terms of not really able to leave his base. In terms of, he's got a pretty big army, but a lot of it's middling speed. There's a lot more stalkers now. He's clearly rebuilt that cybernetics core somewhere. Did I miss a cyber core? Where's the cyber core? Buildings. Where's buildings? Structures. Structures. We do have another one. Why can I not see this? Either way, oh, there it is, up there in the corner. Okay, and not building these things at random. Okay, so now the game is equalized. It is now stabilized. There's not too much going on. RatPoison has not attempted to take this additional base again. He's sticking back with what he has. He's now at a worker disadvantage, and we do see now the Colossi production starting. Colossi generally are much better with this large amount of gateway units. Remember, we do have the Nidus Swarm. I'm glad that he heard me say that. Okay, so the Nidus Swarm, this army is very immobile. It's going to take a while. The stalkers are faster, but there's no blink. These will complete. The question is, how much damage will he get done before these units make their way through? Is he going to be able to snipe extended thermal lance? That would be a super big deal if he could get that out right before it finishes. 3 more seconds. 1 more. Does it finish? It does not finish. Okay, so the Colossi that will come out will be significantly weaker than otherwise. This is a huge force, but the roaches here not able to get up close and personal. They really need to crouch forward, run right up in front of them. Roaches just need the additional range. Another Colossi coming out. We're going to be coming out. This Colossi here doing lots of damage. There you go, getting really up close and personal. Doing a lot of damage. Looks like BrofessorX is going to be able to clean this up. The Hydra's back here doing a lot of damage, but now with the roaches gone, they are not able to survive basically very long at all. And this did not get taken out. I wonder if he's going to take it out before the other Colossus. Another excellent snipe. Great job there, RatPoison. And it looks like this is going to be cleaned up. Oh, no, a big swarm of reinforcements here. Although now the Warpins will be able to commence. The Immortals are going down. Trying to kite away from charge lots is a little bit harder. They should be able to take out this number of Zealots. There is another attack here, and it looks like this is just constant unit production. RatPoison is simply trying to kill his opponent right now. He's going for the jugular. I don't think he has enough units to do it, though. Even with the reinforcements, I feel like he just doesn't have enough continuous unit inflow to take this out. So this getting taken care of here. BrofessorX continuing to stay very calm in the midst of this chaos, and he is going to stabilize and take out both of these Nidus Worms simultaneously, flattening. So exciting match right so far. We do have +3 going down for the Zerg player. However, the Protest player has already finished 3-3. So I feel like that played a huge part in this last engagement, as BrofessorX's units were much more dependable, more durable rather. So army size, very similar. What is in production? Nothing is in production because RatPoison is broke. He did not have that additional base, and nothing really able to do. I like how they highlight this on the mini-map now in Heart of the Swarm. So it's going to be big counterattack coming here, mostly Zealots. No Stalker, well, one Stalker in the mix. Is there anything in? There are 26 Lings in production. These could do quite a bit of damage. There's not enough here to be able to stop them. However, there's nothing that's going to be able to protect this base either. And another Nidus Worm. Where is he going to let these Lings come out of? Where are they going to go? He's going to try to defend against Zealots with charge with 26 Lings. That is just not going to work. I think it's better used. Wow. Where's another Nidus Worm? Okay, so the Immortal's going to go down. That's a good thing. The Hydra's here really helping out. Some Roaches as well, tanking some damage. This base is going to go down, though. The Brooklings actually helping out, distract the Zealots here for a little while. Good kiting. It's harder against charge lots. It looks like this is going to be really close with a closer reinforcement distance. RatPoison should be able to handle this, although the Hydra's at the back getting totally decimated. He should be able to not take too much more damage from this. However, I'm worried about those 3 Archons that were just made. Seeing the number of Lings. Oh no. Looks like, okay, now he should be able to handle it. Those Roaches. Oh, he needed those Roaches up, actually. The Hydras are much more valuable units. I'd rather lose 2 Roaches than 2 Hydras. So a little bit of a blunder there. And what really is the problem here is that he is down in workers substantially. And there's nowhere to mine from, and he's pretty broke. Whereas BrofessorX has lots of money and not much else worrying him. Does he creep here? He does see that that does exist. He does not see, I think, that this exists. So it'll be interesting to see how this next part comes out. Archons melt Zerg units, especially ones that stand close together, plus with 3-3. And I feel like from this point, RatPoison is down by 90 food. It's 33 to 120, and there's just not enough money to do much. He's completely mined out. Well, he's not completely mined out, but he's almost completely... Oh, what? There's still minerals here in the main base, and there's nothing mining him. I don't know exactly what happened here, but with this big counterattack coming, I don't see any way that RatPoison can survive this next attack. I felt like he was doing really well until he spent a little bit too much strength trying to take out more damage, more of this. This base is going to fall, and all these drones should be pulled. It looks like he's not even worrying about it. He doesn't even watch as his units are destroyed. Where's he going to go? Watch them as they come in. Excellent. So RatPoison deciding that he's probably not going to be able to take this game, and will fall down 0-1 to BrofessorX.